All right, apparently, T. Higgins, a little update real quick. T. Higgins still got some issues in Cincinnati. It's been quiet on the front. It just broke news today, which is Thursday, but it's April 11th, that T. Higgins, basically that Cincinnati is probably going to use a receiver in with a first round pick with T. Higgins uncertainty. So they don't know if he's going to hold out, if he, the next year the tag number go up. So not sure what it's going to take to get T. Higgins out of Cincinnati and up the road. It's about 5 hours up north to Detroit. But I think the Lions should kick the tires on it. To be honest, if you're going to spend and the funny thing about it is with the Lions and getting a guy like T. Higgins, we talked about, or we'll talk about Micah Parsons. I think that might be the first video Thursday. You just never know how these things go. But you start talking about, spending money on a wide receiver because you're going to pay St. Brown, you're going to pay T. Higgins. That's kind of where it's sketchy. I got to pay Jared Goff, I got to pay Penny Sewell. So how do you fit that in? If you're going to pay another big money guy, it's more likely going to be a position of dire need that's hard to find in the draft at this point. At the end of the day, I think you're more likely to see them take capital and try to move up and get a Dallas Turner. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm saying it's more likely. I think it's more likely that they would trade for Micah Parsons because that's a position of need on the edge. You need that, and that's what you need. You're more likely to see them spend money on a cornerback again. They haven't part of Carlton Davis. He seemed like he on a 1-year prove-it deal. You're more likely to see that. Then load up on a receiver position. You know what I'm saying? So I think, receiver is one of them positions where you can keep drafting guys and finding guys to fill the need. Yes, T. Higgins would be nice. But then again, how do you fit everybody else in the cap when you're going for a luxury? That's a luxury. You don't need, you don't need a guy like T. Higgins who's probably going to be looking for the same amount of money as St. Brown, $25 to $30 million a year. Yes, you need him in a way, but you want him, what he can do down the field, catching the ball and all that type of stuff. But you can find somebody else that can do that for the fraction of the price. I feel like you can get DJ Shark who can run and do that at the fraction of the price. You can go in the draft and find a guy that can dominate for the fraction of the price. I felt like you could have went out there and got DeAndre Hopkins last year and not had to deal with that. Y'all could have paid him pennies on the dollar compared to that. So there's options still out there. You know what I'm saying? There's options still out there throughout the draft, whether it's Keon Coleman, Xavier Legette, whether it's, Brian Thomas. More likely, he's probably going to have an LSU connection too. Cincinnati, that's where they probably going to replace T. Higgins with. He only had 1 big year of production at Cincinnati, so guess what? He can learn behind T. Higgins for 1 year if he's tend to come, and with Irwin and Jamar Chase and stuff of that nature. So, yeah, there's going to be opportunities, Xavier Worthy. They got opportunities, but one thing about T. Higgins, that if you can find a way to trade and pay him and fit him in that cap with the rest of everybody else, one thing you know about T. Higgins is man-to-man, press coverage, press man-to-man, press zone. He big enough, strong enough to win on the edge. You don't have to worry about him winning outside the numbers. He's going to win. He's going to be a hell of a red zone threat. That gives you like 4 or 5 red zone threats. Think about the Lions and just in a scenario like this. T. Higgins, red zone threat, jump ball threat. St. Brown, red zone threat. Sam Laporta, red zone threat. What you can do with your backs, running the ball in between the guards, red zone, even outside the guards, they both pretty fast. Red zone threat. You got hella red zone threats. Shane Zester coming back, red zone threat. So yeah, he opens up a totally different world. The difference between him and a guy like Shark is physicality. He's physical. He's strong. And at the end of the day, people will say, well, you can get the poor man's version and Keon Coleman. Big, physical, strong receiver, 6'5". You get him for pennies on the dollar. You might can get him in the second. You probably can get him at 29. Move up in the second to get him. Xavier Legette, don't know much about him. 1 year of great production. 6'1", 220. Anquan Bolden built type of receiver. 4.3 speed, faster than him. So he's a physical marvel. Guess what? I don't need you to come in and be impactful right away. If you can come in and impact the game right away, that's a bonus. That's a hell of a bonus. But the way receivers transition so well in the NFL, like they more than likely can get better throughout the year. And guess what? Hey, then we can utilize them. I pay T. Higgins, 5 years, 4 years, 30, 25, 30 a year. I can get that production out the draft. So that's why teams really ain't moving on T. Higgins, because I can get that production out the draft in a draft-rich receiver year. So, if you do take a chance on T. Higgins and you a team, I mean, either, Buffalo ate a hell of a cap hit. But if I do take a chance on the T. Higgins, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going for the championship. We going for the championship. You tell Jared Goff, man, I'm getting this receiver going for the championship. But the thing is, if I pay him and I don't pay St. Brown, or goes, one of them don't get paid because I got to pay him right now until I figure it out, got to pay Panisa Wilt and all that. You win the championship, the ticket going all the way up for everybody involved. Ticket, whoever you don't pay, Goff ticket from 50, he a $55, $60 million a year quarterback. I won the fucking Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you want to pay St. Brown and Goff now. Get that shit over with. I think the St. Brown extension won't kick in the next year. You can find a way to make it work, but if you going to squeeze another high salary player in there, it's going to be an edge. It's more likely going to be a corner. It's going to be something of that variety. You know what I'm saying? Because receiver, you can find good receiver play. They got a couple guys, the kid from Eastern Michigan on the practice squad, Antoine Green, Donovan Peoples-Jones. You know what I'm saying? So you got people that help nourish a young guy there. And, and out of all the receivers, you probably like Keon Coleman the best. He's not the fastest guy, but don't need you to be. Think he athletic enough at 6'5" to get those jump balls. I think he's strong enough to beat press coverage. That's somebody that you probably look at like, cool, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Khalif, Antoine Green, they can hold it down until he's ready. He might be ready right now. He a man-child. So, you can get a guy like that, Xavier Legette, polish him up a little bit and hit the road running. So, but if you say I'm going to get a guy like T. Higgins right now, it's two reasons you getting a guy like T. Higgins. You trading a little bit of capital because you got to pay him. It ain't going to be a lot. Two reasons you go get a guy like T. Higgins if you're an NFL team: to help a young quarterback, or you going for the championship. There's no in between, in my opinion. Either you helping a young quarterback, a Jaden Daniels, a J.J. McCarthy, even younger guys like Justin Fields, to Trevor Lawrence. You helping them guys kind of get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Whoever the Raiders get at quarterback, whoever maybe you say Kyler Murray. Okay, we lost Hollywood Brown. We pick up, I know he's not the younger brother, but we pick up Marvin Harris Jr. Hey, let's pick up T. Higgins too and get Kyler Murray a little bit more firepower. That may be the only exception to something like that. But if you getting him, you helping out a young quarterback find his way with that big frame and that wingspan, or two, you going for the championship. You going for the gusto. So I think the Lions do that. They're going for the gusto. But I think there's other alternatives out there that's cheaper, that allow them to be flexible and pay guys now. So if you wait and do make a run next year, you ain't got to get taxed like Joe Flacco taxed the Ravens. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.